Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan Lewis. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Let's get started. Before we dive in officially, go ahead and hit follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on right now, whether it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you consume your podcasts, your media. Hit follow or subscribe so that when new episodes come out on Wednesdays, you'll never miss one. So go ahead and do yourself a favor and do that. And of course, on all of those platforms, whether it's liking the video or rating on Spotify or leaving a review on Apple, doing any of those things helps us out and gets us seen by more people. So we appreciate that. This podcast is also actually brought to us by Cartersville Living, powered by Best Version Media. Their magazine is your go-to source for uplifting local content, expert insights, community events, and more. They're bringing people together every month with compelling stories and informative articles from around town. Each new edition of the magazine brings us closer to our vision of uniting the community, one person, one home, one business at a time. My guest today is a driven leader whose journey spans the medical field, corporate America, and now a thriving career with Texas Roadhouse, where she found her stride just a few years ago. She was born in North Carolina and raised just outside of Philadelphia, and she brings a grounded, people-first work ethic shaped by real-world experience. Since planting roots in Bartow County and Cartersville community, she's leaned in fully, earning nominations for Leadership Bartow 2025, participating in the Cartersville Citizens Academy, and being recognized by her company, Texas Roadhouse, with a nomination for LSM of the Year. She's proof that when you commit to the community and show up consistently, doors open. Please welcome my new friend, Angel Lewis.
Hi. Hi.
Thank you for being here with me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. You know, it's so crazy. When we met the first time around, it was like we were just meeting each other because we were interested in meeting each other. Or at least on my end, I was interested in meeting you because I'd heard so much about you from around people from around town. And then, you know, me and Caitlin sit down and we're doing our podcast kind of planning for 2026. And she's like, and Angel Lewis, you know her? She's going to be cover in February. And I was like, what? I just met her like 2 weeks ago. She was like, oh, no way. And I was like, yes. So I was like, well, now I get to ask her if she wants to do the podcast. So that's fun.
Yeah, this is my first time ever doing a podcast.
Wow.
And, you know, you get pretty nervous because you don't know what to do, but I'm just here to be me and kind of let that shine to everybody in the Bartow County, Cartersville area.
Yeah, heck yeah. I love it. So, you know, well, of course, with this being brought to us by Cartersville Living, that means Angel, she is the cover of February, which is super exciting. Before we get into who you are and, you know, your backstory and where you are now, I mean, what's that like being approached to do the cover of a magazine in the community that you work so hard every week to uplift and support?
It's kind of unreal, to be honest. It's a feeling that you just really can't even explain unless you're in that position. I met Caitlin one time. We had a nice conversation at Texas Roadhouse, probably about 45 minutes or so. And she told me all about her. I kind of got into a little bit about who I am and where I'm from and the things that I do. And that one meeting changed everything. Uh, and to be asked to be on the cover of a magazine that I received to my home personally, that I've read millions of times, was just a true honor, to be honest.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, very.
It's an emotional moment where you're like, oh my, me?
That's exactly what I
Like-
was thinking
like-
too. I told my husband, I was like, I'm just little Angel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not from Bartow County. I don't have like years and years of roots here. And they want me and my family on the cover? Like, I didn't know I was like that interesting to be on the cover of this magazine. And I'm just so thrilled, so excited, so nervous, but so humbled by it as well.
That's awesome. Angel, kind of give me a little bit about your origin story. You know, I said born in North Carolina, raised outside Philly. Kind of give me your origin story, parents, siblings, family life, athlete, not an athlete, growing up. Like what was kind of your backstory?
So I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then my mom relocated us up to Philadelphia. And so I grew up in the outskirts, in places called like Plymouth Meeting, Bluebell. I have two brothers. I have one that is older than me, and then one that's younger than me. So I'm the only girl. I was raised with my mom and my stepdad, who they were just amazing. So we lived in the outskirts, kind of. I was a cheerleader, did ballet, didn't stick with them for super, super long, obviously, but I've always been like big on reading, writing, things like that. So kind of just grew up in middle class society, just working really hard. I started working at 14. My first job was McDonald's. My mom got to a point where it was like, if you want these extra things, you have to work for them. So that work ethic was really instilled at a young age. And I was excited to get my checks from McDonald's. And then you learn, hey, the things that you don't want to spend your money on. So I started saving and just working really hard and kind of kept that work ethic. My mom taught me the foundation of being on time, showing up when you say you're going to be somewhere. And I'm really appreciative for that, because now in my older age, I realize how much of a benefit it was. If people can't take your word, then it means nothing. Uh, and so I'm appreciative for that. And then as I got older, I lived in North Philly when I went to Temple University, which was a whole experience in itself. I wanted to be out. I wanted to be an adult, and realized adulting was hard back then, even harder now. So graduated there, communications degree in nursing, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So I started out in the nursing field and corporate America at the same time. My gift, my love language is helping people. So anything nursing related was an impact on my heart. I love taking care of people. That was something that just came natural and easy for me. So I started probably as a CNA, like working that like at 18, trying to get my foot started in there while going to school and stuff, and just kept going. Communications is always there to fall back on, nursing's there always to fall back on. But being able to be the last step between a person and when they take their final breath was something that mean more to me than anything. So I used to work a lot in hospice. People who just didn't really have anybody there for them. It was the best time of my life, but the hardest time, because the emotional attachment that you get to people is something that lives with you for the rest of your life. And it was hard. Corporate America, very, very hard. Unfortunately, corporate America I came out of because of a lot of racism, unfortunately.
I'm always so interested in hearing people's stories on why they got out of corporate America, but you answered it for me. But anyway, continue.
So just to kind of elaborate just a little bit to know.
Please do. I'd like to know.
I was working for an advertising company that worked with like companies like AstraZeneca and things like that. And I was moving up within the company. And there were other races of women who did not feel as though I had earned my place to be there. So I dealt with a lot of negative racist comments on a daily basis, a lot of judging, just a hostile work environment. I'm pretty tough. I can kind of make it through anything, but one thing that I have learned over the years is to protect my peace. No job's worth it.
Right.
No friendship is worth it. Nothing in life is worth sacrificing your peace.
If you're leveling up in a company and you're proving your worth, for people to come in and judge you not based on the work you're doing for the company, but just based on who you were born to be is horrifying.
But it's a reality.
But it
And
sucks.
unfortunately, people will look at the color of your skin before the work that you provide. And it's just something that I've had to deal with. You learn how to maintain it. I don't need to react, because reaction only gives them what they want. I have said comments like, it's funny that you don't like me because of the color of my skin, but you go to the tanning salons to get the color of my skin. Those are
Fire.
comments that
If I had one of those air horn buttons right next to me, I would be like,
yes,
because that's
it hurt
real.
them to their core.
Oh yeah.
But that's the kind of responses I give back. I don't need to yell. I don't need to cuss. I don't need to fight. I don't need to do any of that. I kind of hit you with statements that make you think.
Sure.
And that was like my power, my superpower.
The best kind of comeback is the one that in the moment they might react negatively to, but they think about it the rest of the day and they're like, God.
Oh yeah. And they thought about it for weeks to come until I left.
Yeah.
And
did you tell them when you left why you left?
No. Sometimes, the best way to leave is to just hold that head up and
Yeah,
keep on going.
sure.
And I look back now and see the blessings that I had from that point are just immeasurable. So, yes, you might be making the money financially, but when you're working in an environment where people are just damaging to your emotional health, it's not worth it. It's just literally not worth it. So it was best for me to leave.
Man. Okay.
I know
Well,
that's pretty deep, right?
I mean, it's just, you hear especially someone who's in my skin.
Mhm,
I hear stories about this a lot in the news and the media, and people are getting to this point where they don't trust what they see online and what they
mhm,
hear on TV, and it's like I often wonder, truly, like what it's like to be on the other. I don't want to say the other side, but what it's
mhm,
like to be a person with different skin color,
mhm.
and then you hear stories like that from real people that you know personally, and you're like, well, damn it, it makes me want to tear up and cry. Like it's horrible.
It
I hate
is.
that shit. Sorry,
I
I
used
hate it.
to I used to cry, but why?
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, I know who I am, I know my worth. So, those are just words,
sure.
and a lot of those words just stem from ignorance.
Well,
So
well, that. Yeah, wow. Speechless a little bit. But I know something that'll help me recover my speech,
Okay,
Angel. Can I tell you about it?
tell me.
I want to tell you about one of my podcast partners, some of the people that help make your morning drive possible.
Okay.
And one of those people is Good Days Classic Cocktails. They're a local canned cocktail brand. They're born out of Marietta. They're local folks. They are great people. They have a few different flavors. They're made with real juice, real spirits. This particular flavor is actually, ironically, my least favorite out of all of them. I love them all, but this is the one I tend to stick away from the most because it is 8.5%. So it'll get you where you're going real quick. It's called the Heater, rightfully so, because it's a whiskey. It's like a whiskey lemon. They've also got like a vodka cranberry. They've got a gin gimlet. They've got a vodka soda, and they've got all kinds of other flavors. And they're again, they're local people just trying to let people feel good about what they're drinking, and they're having a lot of fun while doing it. They're the official sponsor of KSU's football team. They're doing big things, and we love Good Days. They've been partnering with me and the podcast for a little over 2 years now, so they've been around for a while with us, and we love them because they keep giving me free booze. So if you want to check out where you can find them at a liquor store near you, go to their website and go to their locations page. Their website is drinkgooddays.com, and you can find where they are sold near you. And of course, you must be 21 years of age or older to drink. Um, okay, so you get out of corporate,
Yeah.
you're done there.
Yes.
Where to next? Did you have a
Um,
plan, or were you like, screw this, I'm done?
no, I just continued to work in nursing.
Okay.
One of my desires because at this time too, I was a single mother.
Okay.
My firstborn, his name is Anthony,
Shouts to Anthony.
and he was my everything. I had him at 20 years old. So now you're in the midst of going to school, working, very challenging, and being a single mother at the same time. So it was kind of like I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And at this point, it was little odds and ends jobs and nursing at the same time just to try and make ends meet, being a single mom and everything falling on my shoulders. And then, unfortunately, I lost my mother in 2008
I'm sorry.
when Anthony was 4. And that took me down a hole that I never knew existed. Unfortunately, I went into a deep depression. I had suicidal thoughts. I just didn't know what to do in life anymore. And unfortunately, when you lose a parent, especially like a mother, as a girl, you just feel like everything was ripped away.
Sure, a piece of your
Um,
world is gone,
yes,
or
she
your whole world is gone.
whole world was gone, and she died suddenly. So it wasn't something that we could prepare for or we knew. I went out one night with some friends, got a call from my dad about 1 o'clock in the morning that my mom was dead and I needed to get home. She had went to sleep in the bed holding my son, kissed him on his forehead, and she never woke up. I was the first to get to the house. Let me just phrase, I was the designated driver for that night. So I hadn't had anything to drink. I told my friends that I was with, and the alcohol, the ones who were inebriated had to drive me home. I was the first to get there, and my mother was laying in the bed. And I remember getting in the bed with her, laying on her, and just crying. And then my grandmom showed up, my 2 brothers showed up, devastating. And I think the hardest part of that was when we had to see her being wheeled out in the body bag.
Sure.
That's that's the gut punch that this is real.
Because it's one of those things where you see, of course, you're laying there with her and she's deceased already,
Mhm.
but she's still like, you could still see her, you could still touch her and
Yes.
feel her. Whereas rolling someone out in a body bag, it just feels so
Cold.
cold. Yeah.
Mhm.
So impersonal. And I mean, like, if you zoom out and think about it, how can they make that body bag better? They can't.
There's no way.
There's no way. It's a literal trash bag for deceased
Yep.
people, which sucks to think about, but yeah, I can't imagine.
It was
Horrifying.
the screams, the cries in that
Yeah.
house. I was 24 years old and my whole world was shattered.
So you're around the same age my wife was when her mom died a few
Mhm.
years ago too.
And it's a struggle because you're
24,
like,
25.
moms are superheroes. They can figure out anything
Anything.
and everything. And my mom just knew what to tell me to do when I was confused. How do I understand the cries of my son? How do I all this? And she explained it and she's like, it will come to you, I promise. And, she loved her grandson and now she was no longer here. So now I'm like, I have to figure out life without her. Very devastating. And I remember there were nights where I would just call her cell phone hoping she'd pick up. So the sleepless nights, the depression, it was, and then I'm still having to be a mom.
Yeah.
Still
You
having.
you're in shambles, yet you still have to pick yourself up because
Yes.
you gotta be that person for someone else.
Yes. So the that was the hardest moment of my life, losing my mother, 24 years old. And the day of her funeral, I said that I was going to speak. I kind of went back and forth because I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do anything. So I was late. They held up the funeral for me to arrive. I did speak at her funeral and I promised at that point that I would get my life together. I would pick it back up and that I would make her proud. And I did that. So for 2 years, I worked around the clock, 2 full-time jobs so that I could save the money and move to Georgia and start fresh.
And was that why Georgia?
I always wanted to come to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't know anybody here.
Yeah.
But you know how you kinda hear about places and
Sure.
you're like, "Oh, that sounds fun."
Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to move to Georgia. And so I worked around the clock. I was working 100 plus hour work weeks. My grandparents, which is my mom's her parents, they would help me with Anthony.
Mm.
And so I would do live-ins at a person's home, taking care of them. I mean, I was just working because I didn't have a trust fund. I didn't have any of that. So I had to save up all the money. And for about 2 years,
Wow.
and I made it happen. I moved to Georgia at 26 and it was the most it was a hard wake-up call to come from up north where you can make more money. The cost of living is higher, but you make more money. To come to a state where the cost of living is cheaper, but they don't wanna pay you anything was hard.
Mm.
So I was going through savings. I was struggling. But what people don't know is I was praying hard at that time. And I was praying that God would show me exactly where I needed to be and what I needed to do. And when I got to Georgia, I came to visit and I was like, I'm going to check out jobs, schools, the best areas. And one of the highly rated areas was Kennesaw. And so they had a high rating on the schools and everything. So I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I went to this apartment complex and I talked to the lady and I said, listen, I'm a single mom. I'm moving from Philadelphia. I've been through a lot in these last couple years. I need a place for me and my son. I'm working off of my own savings. She's like, "Do you have a job?" And I said, "No, not yet. Like I'm making the rounds." So she's like, "Okay, see if you can find a job and come back to me." Well, lo and behold, within 24 hours, I had secured a job at a hair salon as a receptionist, and the lady gave me a place to live without charging me a deposit and
The lady the
apartment complex. I went back to her. She didn't charge me a deposit. She gave me a chance for me and Anthony, and I took it. So within 24 hours, I had a job and a place secured. I
Wow.
knew it was a blessing from God. I knew directly where it came from. And I remember calling my grandmom saying, I got a job, I got a place. We're living in the area where it's supposed to be good. And she said, okay, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm driving back. I'm driving back today. I was on a high. So you're talking like 12 hours drive. So I drove back to Philadelphia. I did a 1 week live in for a client that needed help, and I had everything packed up in storage. I arranged for the storage company to get it out of storage, bring it to Kennesaw, Georgia. My grandparents watched my son for a month while I came out here and got everything situated, and I started my life in Georgia.
Wow.
Mhm. Just just that fast. It was man, it was a blessing. I
I
can't even tell you.
I mean, just talk about picking yourself up by your bootstraps and just getting it done.
Mhm.
I mean, you wanted a better reality for you and your son, so you packed up your crap, you moved not crap, you packed up your stuff, you moved down, you got the job. Shout out to that woman. Do you talk to her? Do you see her at
No.
all? Do you know
No.
her? Shout out to that damn woman who gave this girl a chance. Her and her son a chance. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
It was cute too. It was like a two-bedroom, one-bath apartment. It had like a little porch. It was so cute too.
Wow.
I listen, that was a blessing, man. But then I went through the emotions of we started going through my savings because, you're paying these bills, but you're not getting the income in
Sure.
like you were.
Sure.
So now I'm like, do I go back? Do I go back to where I know is familiar, where I can easily make the money? Or do I stay here and just tough it out? And I started meeting people here who were just the right people at the right time. And they were like, no, don't go back. Because what do you have to go back to? The life you wanted to create a more simple and peaceful life for you and your son. Why would you go back? And they were right because what was I holding on to? Spending money, partying, not really having a good quality
Mm,
of life. And especially after my mom died, I was all over the place.
sure.
What was I going back to? So I kind of had to,
That was the safe bet.
yes, because you're like, dude, I already know that environment. I know what I can get there. So I just had to keep moving forward. And then that's when really my spiritual journey started happening. And I have not looked back. And I've been here since 2010. October 2010 is when I moved to Georgia. And then I stayed in Kennesaw, Ackworth until 2013. And I moved to Cartersville, Georgia.
Why Cartersville? Affordability,
So,
probably?
no, I had no idea of a Cartersville. I didn't know what this place was. I went to see an apartment in Ackworth, and the apartment was horrible.
Really?
It was shambles. He wanted so much money, and I'm like, "For this?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Have you ever heard of Cartersville?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, I have a townhome out there." And I said, "What is a Cartersville?" And he said, "Just drive out there and go look at it." And I said, "Okay." GPS, we're driving down, and I remember calling my grandmom because I said, "Somebody has camels in their yard." I had no idea that was Pettit Creek. I
Yeah.
was like, "Where am I?
Yeah.
There's literally goats." And she said, "Just let me know when you stop because I need to make sure we know where to find you." I had no idea this place. I saw the townhome. It was cute.
Yeah.
And I said, "It's in my price range. I'll take it." Ended up in Cartersville. Had
Wow.
no idea what I was none.
And at this point, are you still working at the salon?
Yes, I was still working at the no, I had stopped the salon and I was working for man, I can't even remember the name. His name was Bruce Thompson,
Okay.
and he had like a pool cover business.
Okay.
So I was working as like the receptionist for a pool cover business.
And was this an upgrade in pay from the salon?
Yes. Yes, this was a couple dollars more, so now I'm making a little bit more where it's just me and Anthony, we're getting our life on track, spiritually, emotionally, physically,
Yeah.
mentally, everything, and it was good, and I'm out here, and I have friends, and I like Cartersville, and it was a lot less built up than what it is
Oh,
now
yeah.
in 2013. So it's definitely built up a lot since
Yeah.
I moved here, but it was good. It was good, and we were getting our life on track, and then I was at the point where I was ready for marriage, and so I started praying about it, about the man that I needed for me and Anthony, and I met my husband in 2014, in July of 2014. We were in Atlanta at a religious convention, and I saw him on the train, and I prayed about seeing him again. And at this time, it was that day at our convention, it was about 34,000 people down in Atlanta. And he ended up being about 10 feet away from me
Wow.
in the midst of 30,000 people plus.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that you look very handsome." And he said, "Well, you look beautiful yourself." And now we are 11 years later.
Wow. That's so cool, dude. I love stories like that.
Yes, and
That's
he's
so
from
cool.
Selma, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
So, we're 2 totally different
Yeah.
backgrounds.
And you see him on the way to the convention,
Yes,
and you're like,
on the
"I wanna
train.
see that man again," and then he's
Yep.
10 feet away.
I told my girlfriends when I got inside, I said, "Hey, I saw this really handsome guy. I don't know if he's with anybody, but I was like, he was really handsome." And they were like, "Well, just okay, say a prayer. Maybe you'll run into him again." Said a prayer, turned around, and was like, "There he is." And they were like, "No." And I was like, "That's him." And at the time, he was sitting next to a woman, which was his mom.
Okay.
And yeah, we just started talking,
Wow.
and he was a blessing to me
Wow.
and Anthony.
Shout out to him,
To Tony.
to Tony,
Yes.
my guy. That's awesome.
Amazing.
And what's
Amazing.
he do now?
So he works for Pulse,
Okay.
which is a company here in town, and they do pulse electromagnetic fields. So they basically make machines, design machines that help pulse your body to do what it's
Wow.
naturally supposed to do. And they do it for the equines too, like horses and all of that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, he's the pretty smart one. He is. He's pretty smart.
That's awesome. I love that for you guys. That's really cool.
Yes.
Speaking about getting your life right, Angel, can I tell you about another one of my friends?
Got it.
I'm gonna tell you about Branded and Devoted Designs. Branded and Devoted Designs are here to help you level up your company's merch game. Your brand deserves better than boring swag. Angel, we've all been to those golf tournaments, to networking events, to all these get togethers, ribbon cuttings, whatever. And there's a merch table or a swag table, and some of it looks like it's really cheap. They just got it because they had to get it. They got it because they wanted to put it in a goodie bag, but it has no real value to it, and it's sloppy sometimes. Well, if you contact Branded and Devoted Designs, a great company right out of you, Harley, they can level your brand up with hats, shirts, tumblers, mugs, anything you can think of, they can put your logo on it. So if you go to their website and you fill out their contact form and talk to those lovely folks and you tell them that Logan sent you from your morning drive, they'll give you 10% off your order. So if you go and chat with them, get that discount, level up your company swag. They made this very t-shirt that I'm wearing right now, and they've made countless things for me. They've been with me for a few years now. Love those people to death. Good people, good family, and a great business. So support them at their website, brandedanddevoted.designs.com.
I have to tell you this. When you started saying the name, I'm like, "Oh, Dave."
You know him?
Yes, we use him at Texas Roadhouse. Mhm.
No way.
I'm in contact with him now because he, like, every year I host an awards ceremony for our staff.
Oh,
And last year he made our awards and he's going to make them again this year.
how'd you meet him?
That's a good question. I meet so many people.
Oh, yeah, true.
I
Probably at an
I
event of
wanna
some
say
kind.
I think he came into the restaurant, and I would just happen to be there one day, and we sat down and talked, and I saw what he was able to do, and yep, last year was our first year using them. So, shout out to Dave. Amazing company.
I was on the phone with him this morning talking to him about a really special guest that we're having on the show here on Monday. We're inviting a very special person in the Cartersville fame on Monday, and I'm really lucky to get a chance to sit down with him. But either way, I was telling him, I was like, dude, your company is going to be read in front of, I'll say it, your company will be read in front of the mayor of our city.
Oh, yes.
And he was like, he calls me. I just sent him that text, and he calls me. He's like, what? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to record a podcast with our mayor on Monday. And he was like, dude, that's so cool. And he's going to hear about my business. And I
Yep.
said, yes, he is. So shout out to you.
Yep.
I was
Shout
like,
out
so if
to
the
Dave.
mayor comes calling, that's why.
Yep.
But that's so cool.
awesome.
Small world.
I know.
I love him.
They're so nice. He's so good. He's reliable. He is accurate. His stuff is top quality. I will
Wow.
recommend him all day.
Amazing.
day.
I love that. I'm going to text him after this and be
Yep.
like, guess who I was talking with this morning? Okay, so you get your place in Cartersville, you
Yes.
move here, you meet your husband, you guys eventually date, get married.
Within
long
6 months.
Within 6 months.
Oh,
When you know,
so
you know.
We met July 2014. We had our first date August 2014. He proposed in November 2014. We were married January 3rd, 2015, within 6 months.
Happy late anniversary.
Well, thank you.
That's amazing.
Yep. You know. We did not live together before we got married. So he was still in Alabama,
Okay.
and then I was here. But when you know, you know. And when you're trying to live the right way and do things the right way, like we just knew. My husband, and I said this the day we got married and every other day since, my husband was designed by God for me. He is the man for me. And so I am very, very thankful for him because the things that he has been there with me through, which I know we'll get into, but yes, he's absolutely amazing.
Wow. Okay.
So shout out to you, Tony.
Shouts to Tony. We love you, dude. So married after a few
Yes.
months, and then you're starting your life. He moves
He
in with
moves
you at
here.
the townhome, I
Yes.
assume?
He moves into the townhome
Okay.
with me. It's a better quality for him to come
Sure.
to Georgia. So he moves in. And it's just me, him, and Anthony. And it was pretty awesome. And then I think it was a month into us being married, I went through severe dehydration.
Okay.
The hospital did not do what they were supposed to, and I had to be transported to another one. And in the meantime of going through what I went through, I ended up losing part of my memory. So at this time, I did not know who he was. I did not know who my son was. I did not know.
What? Because of the dehydration?
Yeah, my
Wh-
body had been basically like starved of it. We were in the hospital for hours and they never gave me an IV. I was
Oh,
like
man.
bringing up things front and in all different ways. And the hospital neglected to do anything. I don't know what they were thinking at the time. But so I had friends and family by my side. And this is all just recounted to me that we were in the hospital and my husband was standing there at the time. And I kept asking, like, who is this man? Like, and he was trying to help me. And I was like, you can't touch me, so it was, our marriage started off with some challenges
Sure.
right
To
away.
say the least.
Yep. And we worked through it. And then more challenges where we had his grandfather died. That was the first person in his family that he ever lost. And that was a
And that's
huge
hard.
hit
So
because
hard.
his grandfather was like a father to him,
Mhm.
another father, and they were very, very close.
Wow.
So that was a huge, huge hit in our marriage, just trying to be there for him and navigate that when I've been through so much death that sometimes I kind of feel like I'm immune to it.
Mm.
And then you have your mate who's never been through it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty hard. Then in the beginning, I ended up losing my job. So now you're down to one income.
Mm.
So it's just like challenge after challenge. And you're like, oh.
You're like, we're being we're being tested right now, man. You could lay off though.
And then you're just like trying to get a company to being married.
Yeah. A
I
total
was
lifestyle change.
yes, 2 people at one, we never lived together, so now you're living with somebody. You also have a child in the mix. Then you're trying to learn people because you have 2 imperfect people who are trying to do things the right way.
Sure.
So you that first year of marriage was extremely, extremely hard. I also had surgery. I went in, I thought I was having a heart attack and found out that I had a goiter the size of an orange that was sitting on my trachea. So I had to have surgery.
What's a
A goiter is just like a really big growth, but it
okay.
was the size of an orange and it was sitting.
Wow.
And I wondered why my neck was like bulging, but no one had ever said anything. So they had to go in and take it out. So I had a complete thyroidectomy. So now you're throwing in major surgery.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're throwing in major surgery. And these years go by fast, but this is like kind of like the steps. I had major surgery, then I had um then I was diagnosed. I don't even remember the year. Was that 2022? I was diagnosed with MS and rheumatoid arthritis. That was another hit. I had 2021, I think I had weight loss surgery. So I've had like multiple surgeries, multiple hospital stays. I have fallen. I am considered a fall risk. So when I'm in the hospital, I have to have
Damn.
help.
Sorry for making you come upstairs.
Oh no, it's okay. It is okay. I have
Okay.
my good days, I have my bad days. And these are things that people don't see from the outside
Sure.
in. So a lot of times people don't even know what's going on. Uh, and that's okay. But I knew something was wrong and we were advocating for myself to find out what really was wrong. And I had a doctor at the time that advocated with me. And that's how we were able to get to the diagnosis of MS and stuff.
So, I know MS mainly because, and this is a stupid way of knowing
No, it's
what it
okay.
is. But when I was in high school, I worked at a grocery store, and like a couple times a year, the grocery store I worked at like had these like, would you like to round up to save or help, you know, send money towards this cause, and one of
Mhm.
them was MS, and it stands for muscular. I don't know how to pronounce the second word.
Um,
Dystrophy.
no, it's oh,
Oh, is this a different MS?
this is man, I just drew a blank.
That happens.
What in the world? Sorry.
No, it's
That's
okay.
the memory is not good because of I have lesions on my brain. Multiple sclerosis.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
so
So a
sorry.
different MS than I'm thinking of. Well, then never mind. I did not get that.
You do have muscular dystrophy,
Yeah.
but this is not that.
Multiple sclerosis.
Yes. So basically, how they see what you have going on, you have to have MRIs and they check your cerebellum and they check your spinal cord
Okay.
and you have lesions. So basically, like the neurological part of it, the sheath like starts to just separate. And so I have lesions on my cerebellum and my spinal cord. So on your brain, obviously, it affects like memory, it affects all of that. And then your spinal cord affects like your joints, your walking, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's a lot in it, and I don't even know all. I know everybody kind of goes at a different rate.
Sure.
So you might have it and you might be in the beginning stages and you don't really see, and somebody else might be my age and be in a complete wheelchair. Like it can affect people. Mine is moving faster than what we were hoping or anticipated. So I have really bad days where I have to use a walker.
Sure.
um,
Wow.
or I can't necessarily like get out the bed or I move a lot slower. Then I'll have other days where the pain is still there, but I can move a little bit faster.
Wow. Okay.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. So, what does this mean for you long term? Will you end up in a wheelchair? Like, is that a 100% fact, or is that
If
a
I keep
chance?
deteriorating, yes. So most likely at some point I will end up in a wheelchair.
And is there anything you can do to fight it, or is it just there and it's
No, it's just there. It's now obviously, you want to kind of lower your flare up, so you want to
uh
watch what you eat.
Sure.
You want to try and still remain active.
Sure.
Stress is a big factor, but these are all things that are part of life. You
Yeah.
can't necessarily get rid of stress
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I try to do the best I can, but I got 2 small kids. The stress is still gonna be there, but it's not something that reverts back. So
Mm.
there is no cure for MS. There are a lot of different trial things that they have out there, but for me personally, a lot of the side effects are worse than what I go through. I don't necessarily wanna put a possible side effect of being paralyzed or stroke or death.
Yeah, those are tough side effects.
Yeah. Or you can have internal bleeding. Like some of these medicines, like they're like, oh, you have these commercials that make everything look good, but when you really read it, is it worth it?
Right.
And for me personally, it's not.
Hmm.
Um, it's just not. So if there are things that I can do, yes, I'm on medications that will kind of help with the pain managing for those really hard days. But how I function is I just keep going. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So right now, working and keeping my brain going as much as I can helps me. Yes, I have to write everything down. Yes, I have to look things up multiple times. Yes, I have to talk out loud to myself when I'm scheduling something or I'm doing something because the brain will forget just that fast. Just that fast, I forgot what it stood for.
Damn, that freaks me out because I forget things in an instant all the time. So that's great. Okay, well, so you get these diagnoses, you go through
Yes.
these surgeries. The first year of marriage is rocky. You've got
Then we
challenge
have a
left and
baby.
right, and then you have a baby.
We had a baby.
How
So we had
how
our
long into the marriage is the second child?
well, the first child, Cameron, who is now 8, we had him December 30th, 2017.
Where's Anthony?
He's still there.
Okay,
So
so
we got
these
Anthony.
and two others.
Yep. So I got
Okay,
3
so you got three
kids.
kids. Okay, I
Yeah,
misunderstood something.
3
Okay,
kids. And so Anthony, and now we have Cameron. So before we had Cameron, we did have a miscarriage.
okay,
And I think that's what kind of triggered
bunch of
us to
stuff.
have another child again.
Sure, I've heard that.
Um, so we had Cameron and we're like, oh, okay, we got Anthony and Cameron. We're good. Get my tubes tied. Here comes Josiah, January 8th, 2019. 12 months later. Yes. I found out I was pregnant at a little over 4 months. Yes.
Look at God.
Challenging was an understatement.
Yeah,
I never healed from Cameron.
sure.
Did not know we were having another one. Now we have another one. So now I went through postpartum with Cameron. Then Josiah came and postpartum hit 4 times harder. 4 times. It was probably whew, it was
It
rough.
was tough.
Uh-huh. So my husband and the good thing is being honest and vulnerable with him allowed him to lean on our friends. So I have friends that are like bus drivers. So they would do their morning route and then they would come over to the house, watch one of the kids while I just took a nap. And they just did that days and weeks at a time to
Wow,
try and help me. My husband would work from home, he would come home, he would check on me, he would call. It was pretty rough.
it was tough.
Mhm.
Man,
Yep. And then we have Josiah, who was healthy, healthy boy. And he is like my mini me. He's definitely a huge blessing. Um, Cameron is just like his father. Um, but it is rough raising kids. It's very, very rough. And now, so we have Anthony who's 21.
wow,
We have I know.
grown ass man.
Yep, 21. Then we have Cameron who's 8 and Josiah who's 7. Yes. So it has been
Anthony had a head start though.
he did. He did. And for the longest time I was like, I only want one. I got one.
Yeah,
Anthony was really easy as a child. And the kids I have now test every patience that we have. So I'm like, what is going on?
yeah. Well, God gave you Anthony as it kind of in a weird way, like he was young when you were going through all this change
Mhm.
and losing your mom. So him being an easy child gave you some leeway to be able to feel your feelings and all those other things you guys were facing or
Yeah.
that you were facing. But then, of course, after the hump, God's like, all right, you got your husband, you got the townhome, you're working good. Let's give you two kids who are going to test you to your core.
And they do. And they do. There's not a day that is not a test.
Yeah.
But they both have their different issues that they have. They both have ADHD, but Cameron has ODD, which is oppositional defiance disorder, bipolar,
Mhm.
and then Josiah has autism with his. So now you have its own set of challenges.
Challenge after challenge after
Yes.
challenge.
After challenge. Yeah. So now you're trying to navigate between them. You're trying to navigate your own health issues. You're trying to navigate being a wife. You're trying to navigate working full time. It's just, I'm navigating every minute of my life.
Well,
Yep.
then I'm going to tell you about another friend real quick here,
Okay.
Angel. Well, speaking of navigating, if you're a nonprofit and you're listening to this, I want you to do me a favor and navigate over to my other friend of Your Morning Drive. This is a newer friend of Your Morning Drive, Bees Charitable Pursuits and Resources. If you're a small business or organization with a heart for community, Bees Charitable Pursuits wants to partner with you. They work alongside local businesses and nonprofits to support meaningful causes through fundraising, marketing, and networking. And if you're a nonprofit looking to grow your reach, or a small business that needs help connecting, promoting, and making a bigger impact, Bees can help you. They have the tools, relationships, and experience to help you move forward. You can learn more about them and get involved with them at beescharitablepursuits.com. So where in this equation does Texas Roadhouse come in?
Okay. So in 2021, when I had my surgery, that's when I finally was like, I'm not going back into nursing. I'm
Yeah.
not doing any of that. And I saw a sign that was posted up saying Texas Roadhouse coming to Cartersville soon. And I remember calling my friends saying, hey, I'm just going to apply for a part time server job just to do some part time work. That's it. And they were like, really? That's what you want to do? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm great with customer service. Like, I mean, I served at a bar when I was like 20. Like, it can't be that hard. And they were like, okay, okay. So I applied, got the job as a server. They opened their doors November 15th, 2021, and I was there as a server. I just did it as a joke, like just part time. Like, I just want to make some extra cash. And now we are what, 4 years in? Hmm.
Wow.
I don't, yeah.
And so then tying that in with your diagnosis,
Yes.
and things were getting serious, right? And so it got to the point, right, where you told them you had to step back, right?
Yes. So I was serving and I was only working 3 days a week. But serving is very hard on your
Oh yeah.
body.
Oh yeah.
And
Especially at a
Texas,
restaurant like Texas Roadhouse. Good
yes,
God.
Texas Roadhouse is a beast in itself. And so I had gotten to the point where I had went to my MP, Margie, and I had just said to her, like, hey, I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to continue because it's hard on my body. Just trying to, I was working Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Fridays, but trying to recover, trying to have my body recover was excruciating from that. And so she said, I don't want to lose you. Like, you're so good at what you do. And I said, well, I might have to, like, because I kept going back and forth with my husband, and I was talking also to my sister, which is not my blood sister, but shout out to Tiffany. I met her the year my mom died, and she has been such a grounding force in my life. And so she was just like, Angel, you got to take care of your body. You have to. My husband said the same thing, and I said, okay. So my boss comes back to me, and she says, I have a position. I don't know if you're gonna like it. This is what I know about it. Talk it over with Tony. Come back and let me know. So it was basically like the marketing person. You can make your own schedule. You're basically in the community. My job is 90 to 95% outside the restaurant, and you get to build relationships with people. And so I went to Tony, I told him, and we prayed about it. And so about less than 2 weeks, I went back to her and I said, "Okay, I'll try it." Well, look at where we are now. There has not been a person in my position in our restaurant in Cartersville, Georgia. So everything that I have built, the relationships and all of that have been from the ground up from me. So
So
it has been an honor.
so how did you start that? I mean, they're basically saying like, okay, now we're going to pay you to go out
Mhm.
and get our name out there, get
Yep.
people in here. We're going to do fundraising, we're going to do marketing. Go. How did you start? Did you
I just
just
started going to events.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I would look on the chamber and they were having, like, their after dinner networks, I would just go there, and then I would just start by introducing myself. And then sometimes I didn't have to. People would see the shirt, Texas Roadhouse, and they would bum rush me and be like, "Do you have rolls?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't just travel with them everywhere." But that started conversations, and then I would just listen to people, find out who they were, find out what the needs were. One thing that I stressed in the beginning that I'm always passionate about is people and helping people any way that I can. And so now I'm in a position where what? I can help organizations, I can help schools, I can help kids. What? This is like a dream come true.
And so tell me and the people watching and listening
Mhm.
how exactly you're going about doing that.
Okay, so
I mean, I know how you're doing it because I've been there. I
So I partner with like schools, like elementary schools. I find really great people in there and we build a relationship. We talk about what they need. So, like Mission Road Elementary, they have a robotics team, and their robotics team is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
These kids are so smart.
Elementary school.
Elementary school.
Wow.
Okay. So they build these robotics teams and they build these robotics and then they travel to different competitions. Well, they'll host a Dine to Donate fundraiser with us, where on their night, everybody who comes in and dines, a copy of the receipt is collected, and then 10% of their sales goes back to them.
Wow.
Super easy.
So cool.
Um, we just closed out 2025, so we were able to get the numbers. Last year in 2025, I hosted 145 Dine to Donates at our restaurant. I was able to give back to the community almost $30,000 from
Wow.
Texas Roadhouse.
That's
To
so
me,
cool.
that is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
To organizations, I worked with uh, 40, either 39 or 40 different organizations last year.
Wow.
And that's between schools, churches, nonprofits. Mhm.
Wow. And I mean, I came for a couple of those nights. I mean, I went just I think it was before Christmas or maybe a little after Christmas. I went because it was benefiting the LGE
Yep,
Foundation
yep,
because that was a
LGE.
company I used to work for. So
Wow.
I know those people very well, and I'm close with a few of those people. And so I actually, one of our best couple friends, he still works there. He's one of their like regional managers or whatever over a few branches. And I said, hey, let's go to Texas Roadhouse and benefit LGE.
How cool is that?
So me and him and our wives went and had a good time. I went for the Red Door Food Pantry when
Yes,
they were doing their thing.
Red Door Food Pantry. We have Emerson Elementary, uh, Cartersville Elementary. We have New Frontier of Bartow County. I mean, anybody and everybody that I can partner with, I will partner with,
Wow.
period. And they have been able to get supplies. We've Bartow Basic Needs, Bogies Buddies, like anything that they need for their organization, they're able to get. And then I get to sit back and be like, I get to help people with that. That's something that you ride high on when you get to help other people, because I believe in life it's more about giving
Sure.
than taking. And I am in a position to
To
do the
give.
very best job that I can do. And I am so humbled by the love, because honestly, I'm not from here. And the fact that I have been able to build relationships with people that have been here all their lives and they trust me. So showing up, being consistent, allowing my yes to mean yes has proven very successful for me. And I'm only February this year will be 3 years in this position.
Wow. And of course, it helps you with your conditions because on those hard days, I'm sure they allow you to work from home.
Oh, yes.
And of course, like you said, you make your own schedule. And whether, you're out and about networking or in the community or you're at home answering emails and texts,
Mhm.
like they did that for you because they didn't want to lose you, but it gives you the ability to do your job anywhere, even from bed if you need to.
Yes. And I try not to. I mean, some of those days just come and I don't have any
Sure. But you
choice,
try not to take advantage of
but
it.
I love being present.
Sure.
Even though so much of my job is outside of the community, I go into my restaurant because it's very important to build up the staff
Sure.
that's there for them too. They work just as hard. My team is hands down the best. They rock with me. They listen to my crazy ideas. They do it. We host field trips at our restaurant, which most people don't know. We can host a field trip, and we've done it for special needs. We've done it for elementary schools, middle schools. Like we host them. So they're able to come in and I'll set up like different stations so they can see how our bread making the process works. They're able to, we've done relay races outside in the parking lot, which kids love.
There's
We've
plenty of
made
room.
Right? We've done, DIY aquariums for them to take home, like, we've done line dancing, taught them that, then they get to eat lunch, then they get goodie bags, and then we have our special guest, which is Andy the Armadillo, who comes out, and they love Andy the Armadillo.
Is it a
Um,
real armadillo or is it a man
it's
in a
not.
costume?
It is someone in a costume. It's not real.
I was like, is
Um,
Texas Roadhouse just keeping an armadillo in the back?
I don't know if I would wanna work with a
No,
rodent,
no,
so
probably not. Probably not.
But I will say
Health
myself,
inspectors.
I have been in that costume before.
Really?
So I don't ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. I've been in there. My husband's been in there.
Oh, that's
My
awesome.
best friend has been in there. Get whoever can get in there.
Oh.
But we go to schools. We host them at schools too. We do a whole lot of things that people don't know that Texas Roadhouse can do. And I pretty much can do a whole lot. It's pretty awesome. My job, on the back of our shirts, it says, I love my job.
Mhm.
I genuinely love my job. Is it easy? No, by no means. But I love what I do.
It's so rewarding.
Absolutely.
I mean, because
And
you guys are just cutting these checks to these nonprofits, these schools, whatever you're supporting. And it's got to be so fulfilling because even if it's a few $100s,
it
that
makes
makes a
more.
crazy difference.
Yep. And a lot of these organizations, I tell them to host 2 a month.
Sure.
Like, let's get you the maximum.
Yeah.
I have people my calendar already is almost booked up
For the year.
for the year. Mhm.
Wow.
So, like last year, I was telling them, let's get on because people want to get on and get their spots. And, you know, while you're doing everything else for your organization, we do this and then you get the profits. That's it. And all they have to do is advertise it. And I will tell you, Bartow County shows up.
They do.
They show up for other people.
They
I
really
have
do.
so many times seen people come in that are maybe with the Red Door Food Pantry, but they're here to support, Bartow Basics Needs tonight. Or their kids might go to Emerson Elementary or Cloverleaf Elementary. So they're like, no, I'm coming to support. We're the Woodland Wildcats football team. Like we just had the Woodland High soccer team.
We are supported by Jess Suro Photo. Jess Suro Photo offers personalized portrait sessions that bring out the best in every moment, whether you need family portraits, senior pictures, or photos for engagement announcements. Jessica combines creativity and expertise to deliver breathtaking images you'll treasure forever. She provides tailored sessions to fit your needs, high quality images with attention to detail, and fun, friendly, professional service. She's done our professional headshots at Your Morning Drive and Hammerhead Creations for the past couple years. We love her. We recommend her any chance we get. So go ahead and book her today. Capture life's most special moments with Jess Suro Photo.
I mean, just whatever they may need. They travel, they need uniforms. And then also, too, what I'm able to do is we can sponsor a meal for their games, too. So, Cartersville High, we sponsor a meal. People reach out to me and they're like, hey, my friends over at this school said, and I'm like, all right, let's look at the calendar. Let's get you. And then, like, in return, they put our name up on the billboard. They'll mention us at the games and stuff like that. So it's a mutual benefit. partnership that we have.
Very cool. I
Mm,
love that.
I do too. I do too.
That's so cool.
And, and it feels good when your boss tells you how much they appreciate you, how much they need you, how much they love you, how much, we went on vacation to celebrate our anniversary. And the first vacation, we were gone for like 9 days. And I came back and they were like, don't do it again. Gotta stop leaving us. And then recently we just went to Gatlinburg. So that's like another 4 days. And they're like, what are you doing? And I told them, I said, 2026, I'm taking more
Yeah,
time. So you're going to have to
as you
deal with it.
should.
It's a lot, and last year I was able to accomplish a lot, even with hospital stays, even with things that going through things with our kids and learning and fighting and everything, to be I was LSM of the 3rd quarter last year, and in our region, we have about 180 stores, and in our company, it's about 640 somewhere in there, Texas Roadhouse in the company. And last year, I was number 1 in our region for Dine to Donate sales. I was number 2 in the entire company. How that happened, I have no idea, which they ended up nominating me for LSM of the year, which is a huge deal just to be nominated.
Sure. Even be thought of in that conversation.
And that's what I keep saying because they're like, you just seem so calm, but it's very a humbling experience. Like, just the fact that people thought about me that much. Even the people in the community that nominated me for Bartow leadership. I had no idea what that was. None. And I remember meeting Jody Matthews, and he's the chief of U Harley
Yeah, yeah.
and super, super sweet guy. We catered for him, met, and he was one of the people that nominated me. And I had only met him one time. I had talked to him on the phone and met him one time. The fact that I can have a positive example on people and that people see that I'm worthy of things like that is something that means more to me than any award ever. Because Bartow leadership has been an amazing, amazing couple months. Just to learn how to be a more effective leader, how to just love on people and build them up is something that I strive to for every single day. So the things that I have accomplished are just very, 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 very humbling. And
Mm,
I'm just so grateful for them, to be honest.
that's incredible. I love all of that. So well said.
Thank you.
So well said. There comes a point, Angel, in every conversation I have with all of my guests
Okay.
where I ask them a few questions at the end where, I just got to know your journey, but now I just want to know like who you are like at home. You're off
Okay.
work, you're chilling. Who are you at home? So I've got a few questions here, but before I ask them, I'm
Okay.
going to tell you about our last partner of the podcast. It's Hammerhead Creations. Guys, if you're a business owner and your marketing feels scattered, social here, a website there, maybe a podcast you want to start, Hammerhead helps pull all of that together. They work with small businesses to simplify marketing, tell better stories, and actually get results instead of just noise. If you're tired of guessing and ready for a smarter approach, check out Hammerhead Creations at hammerheadcreations.com and start building something that lasts. Thank you to Hammerhead for putting on your morning drive. Are you ready for these?
I am.
They can be
ready.
rapid fire or we can discuss them if needed. They're very casual first
Okay.
date questions. I might have a clue of what this first one's answer is, but what's
Okay.
your favorite movie?
Jurassic Park.
Let's go.
All of them.
I feel so seen.
All of them.
Thank you.
I have
God.
a costume and all. Yes.
Oh my God,
I
that's
have the
amazing.
inflatable.
Oh, I love that so much. I think I know the answer to this one because I think we talked about this, but
Okay.
your first job ever.
McDonald's.
Yep, McDonald's. You get to organize yourself a music festival. You get to pick your 3 headliners. They could be alive or dead.
Oh.
Who are they?
Okay. Olivia Dean, Whitney Houston, and Adele, probably.
That's a great lineup. Hell yeah.
Yes.
I'm going.
Yes.
If
I'm
no one
going.
else, me and you are just
There
up there
you
up
go.
front. Yeah, let's go. Tony can come too. And Catherine, we'll just go as a double date. On a day, this one I'm real excited to hear the answer
Okay.
to. You have this personality that is larger than life. You're known around town for being this bright light. It's got to be exhausting, though.
Mhm.
We'll be real about it. It's got to be exhausting. So, on a day that you're not working or doing something to benefit someone else,
Mhm.
how do you recharge?
I watch TikTok videos for
That's so
hours.
real, so
I
honest. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I will scroll and find myself scrolling for hours,
Amazing.
but I don't have to think. All I have
Yeah,
to do is laugh.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. No brain power required.
Nope. Nope, I do it just about every night.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What is a piece of advice or a quote or a saying, whatever, that you've heard at some point in your journey that you try to live every day?
Mm, that's a good one. I don't know because there's probably so many that I've heard, but I try to be the authentic me. So when you see me at work and I'm joking and I'm doing all that, that's how I am outside of work. All my friends can attest to it. I show up for people. It could be as small or as big as you need. I will show up for people. So I just try to remain the authentic self at all times. And that authentic self is showing up for people.
I love that. And then lastly, Angel, what is your main motivator? What pushes you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What is your morning drive?
First and foremost, my relationship with God. Then reality is my husband, my kids, my sister Tiffany. They are my motivating factors to keep going. They love me unconditionally. They don't judge me, and they always find a way to strengthen me no matter what.
That's incredible. We all need people like that.
Yes, absolutely. My team is they're MVPs
Yeah,
in my eyes.
they've got you and you've got them.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the best. Okay, Angel. So,
Mhm,
if there's people listening and they want to know how to learn more about what you're doing, or if they want to get involved, if there may be a nonprofit or a school or
mhm.
someone's listening that needs extra support and maybe wants to do one of these, these nights at Texas Roadhouse, how do they get involved? How do they get in touch? Plug, plug, plug.
Okay, so if you're in the restaurant and you're right there, you can ask to speak to me if I'm there. If not, they'll give you my business card, which has my email, which is 718marketing@texasroadhouse.com. Or you can see me at events, just approach me. Just you'd be surprised when I'm in and out of the restaurant, but just ask for Angel. I'm the only one there. They will give you my information and I will reach out to you
Amazing.
ASAP. No matter what you may need, we will try to work with you to get what you need.
Amazing. Well, then, my friend, thank you for doing this with me. This was so cool.
This was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had.
No, shut up.
First, yeah. This
And
is pretty cool. Like, you're just sitting across from each other talking. Like, this is pretty cool. I was super nervous. Woke up this morning like, I don't know what is going to happen. And then you're like, man, this was pretty easy. Like,
yeah,
this was pretty
we're
easy.
just chatting.
Yeah. So I'm thankful that one, I met you, two, we're working together, and three, that you just allow me to be me
Yeah,
on this podcast. So thank you.
you're so welcome. I appreciate you. People have said things about you, and I had just heard them for a long time, and now I'm living them, and I get it. You're one of a kind. Keep being you unapologetically, and
Thank
keep
you.
doing well.
Thanks.
Well, that's fun, guys. If you want to get in touch with her, she just told you. I'll put some information I'll link you to that specific Texas Roadhouse in the description of the episode so that you can go there and dine in, maybe participate in some of their events that they do and get involved with them however you can. And you got to enjoy the rolls. I can't believe we didn't talk about the rolls at all, but
They're
they're great.
they're hand cut and made fresh every day.
That's that's all anyone needs to hear about
Yes.
them, honestly.
I had to stop eating them.
Well, I mean, it's easy to eat 3 baskets. Do you guys ever cut people off?
Yes.
Are you just like, all right, you're done with the rolls?
Well, at the table, we're like, hey, we actually have to make sure that other guests are getting them too. Sometimes you
Sure.
have to because people will just keep asking for more and more, or you'll have to start charging them.
Do people pitch a fit?
People pitch a fit over everything.
That's true. Guys, thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the sponsors. Thank you to Cartersville Living for setting this up. And we will see you guys next time. Take care.